We're going to Japan to find our dad. It's Harmless Phosphorescence. Hello, everyone. This is Crap Addict Thoreau Smiley, and I am joined by...
I am Josh Cece, and I've been having a lot of un-American urges.
I'm Brian Lesh, and even comic book villains like us know if you want it done right, you must turn to Japan.
Don't call me Smelvin. My name is Alaric Weber.
And this is Harmless Phosphorescence, the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, and then we tell you all about it. This week, we are watching The Toxic Avenger Part II.
He was the first superhero from New Jersey. He came to Tromaville and single-handedly wiped out crime, corruption, and chemical waste.
The name's Avenger. The Toxic Avenger. How are you?
Holy shit!
But this time, there's trouble not just in Tromaville,
Messy, messy, messy.
but also in Tokyo. And there's only one brave soul who can stop the forces of evil.
No. I am history.
There's only one hideously deformed creature of superhuman size and strength, and he's back.
Don't worry, sir. I'm the Toxic Avenger.
He's a fighter. He's a thinker. He's a lover. And when he returns, criminals won't have a leg to stand on. People will be dancing in the streets in The Toxic Avenger Part II.
No problem.
The wildest, most off-the-wall action movie since The Toxic Avenger Part I. He's coming soon. The Toxic Avenger Part II.
Says it so many times. The Toxic Avenger
Can't believe it!
Part 2.
Yeah, not part one.
Ooh, not part 1. Part 2. Wow. So yeah, that's what we were watching this week. The Toxic Avenger Part 2. It was released on February 24th, 1989 with a budget of $2.3 million. I believe that was for 2 and 3, which were shot simultaneously. And in the box office, it made $792,966.
Oh, man.
It had to have made a ton on video, though.
Oh, I'm sure. Or in Japan. Right?
Or in Japan, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what it made
What
in
it
Japan.
did in
I didn't even
Japan.
think to look that up.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
I meant to look up what it was called in Japan.
Like
Yeah, just
like, we're thinking about it.
American tourist.
Yeah, they're like, this is what they're all like, right?
Yes, there was that vibe.
Yeah. So I don't think we have any background on this. It's just The Toxic Avenger Part 2.
There are some things that I think that this movie, I told Al, I have a theory that this movie is them explaining away the, what was it? Ticky, no ticky, no washi.
No tiki, no
yeah.
washi. Yeah.
Which is like kind of a racist Asian joke. Is
Pretty-
this them
pretty
like
racist.
legitimizing it because his father's from Japan?
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
I don't know,
But we find out he isn't.
And we find out he isn't. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler, Melvin is not Japanese.
It takes a really long time to get to that fact.
Yeah, the very end.
Yes.
So
In Japan, it was called Akuma no Doku Doku Monster.
All right.
do we know what that translates?
Tokyo Eiyuku.
Do we know what that translates to?
No.
Damn it.
Well, all right.
All right.
I don't know.
Sounds
disappointed.
dope, though.
I don't know, but
what was it? Doko.
I feel like Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Hers listened to feedback. I mean, I didn't. This is not based on anything, but it's way toned down,
Yeah, the violence is toned down.
and the violence that is in is much more creative,
Yeah.
and sort of entertaining comparatively. But yeah, like it has none of that heaviness of the first one at all.
No, it doesn't.
The kid murder, even the racism, like you said.
There were some roles that changed
There were,
Yeah,
and some
for
names
sure.
that changed.
and some names that changed. Mainly Melvin's name.
Melvin is no longer Melvin
Ferd.
Ferd. He is now Melvin Junko.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's I don't know if that's interesting, but that's a change.
Yes, and
Yeah.
His girlfriend Sarah is now Claire.
that's right, and played by a different actress.
Yep.
Naturally.
Yes. So
And his mom.
She couldn't get her hit single into the soundtrack of this one, so she didn't want to be in the movie.
Interestingly enough, the Claire, played by Phoebe Hemingway Legier, is a multidisciplinary artist. She is a Juilliard-educated composer, soprano, pianist, accordionist, which she puts to
She
use,
plays, yeah.
painter, poet, and a filmmaker. She's a graduate of Vassar
Wow.
with a 4-octave vocal range.
Headed with your best or besting young lady.
Wow.
Legier has recorded for Mercury Records in England and for Epic, Island, Rizzoli, Funtone, ESP Disc, and Einstein Records in the U.S.
Wow.
But
She plays 7 instruments and has released 15 albums
but is known for her role in Toxic Avenger
of
2.
cavorting around in a
Right.
bikini.
She's not
whatever that
she
is.
cannot play blind
Lingerie.
as well as
Which
Sarah
I'm not
did.
gonna I'm not gonna hate on that. That's awesome.
No.
She's multidisciplinary in
Yeah.
very many ways.
She's
but
she's appeared on NPR, Charlie Rose.
Gross.
Yeah, right. And she's worked with Abel Ferreira, Ivan Reitman, and Jonathan Demme.
Wow.
Yeah,
Those are 3. Yeah.
man.
yeah,
So Melvin was played by 2 different people.
yes.
Okay.
The first guy was John Altamura. He started the production as Toxie. He did a lot of the scenes in the New York area. He was fired for complaining about makeup and threatening staff members.
Oh, shit. As if it wasn't hard enough.
Like, I'm the Toxic Avenger.
Some of the footage that he shot will make it into Toxic Avenger 3.
Okay.
Ron Fazio, he did most of the Japanese. Well, he probably did all of the scenes in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was his voice that we heard throughout. Was Ron Fazio.
Yeah, because there's a few scenes where that's clearly him doing it live in Japan, but never live in the U.S., if you watch carefully.
He was already on the set. He was already hired to do one of the Apocalypse Inc. executives. So at one point we see Ron Fazio's character as an evil henchman fighting Toxic Avenger as John Altamura in the opening scene. He's the guy with the tiger stripes on his face.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And before this was Ron Fazio's first movie.
No.
You could never tell.
He played a little bit of NFL football.
Hey.
He was with the Dallas Cowboys in 1985 and the Philadelphia Eagles in 86 and 87.
Nice.
Wow.
Fazio.
Yeah, Fazio.
I read that he wanted to play the secondary role in the beginning so that his family could see that he was actually in the movie.
Oh, nice.
Which
so
is
his
kind of
face.
That's sweet.
endearing and
Yeah.
funny. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
I think he gets his head punched in like a circle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
Oh, he's the one that spins? His head spins over and over? That's nice.
Michael Jai White made his film debut in
Yeah.
this film, who we will later on see again in Spawn,
Hell
coming
yeah.
in a couple months maybe.
Well, and it's so striking because, he went on to have a movie career, so he's familiar to us. But he's a very handsome built guy.
Yeah.
And you could just some people look like they're actors and they're gonna be actors, and then just all the other, sorry to say, garbage people in this movie, just like off the street, just like standing. I was like, wow, that's a handsome guy. Oh my.
Yeah, obviously standing next to people that they were like, hey, you want to be in a movie? Come here.
Right.
Well,
exactly.
and he's got one of
the
funniest interactions in the whole movie.
He does.
Yeah,
He does.
his line nails it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
He will have an uncredited role in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Michael Jai White will?
Yes, Michael Jai White. A couple of voice acting credits. Justice League, one episode in 2003. He was the voice of Doomsday, and he reprised that role in Justice League Unlimited in 2005. He was the voice of the Jon Stewart Green Lantern in Justice League Heroes as a video game in 2006. And 10 episodes of Arrow. Ben Turner, the Bronze Tiger.
I have a question all of a sudden. Does he play that character Gamble in Dark Knight?
Yes.
All right, I thought so.
Yeah.
He's fucking great.
I
All
forgot
right.
about that.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Yeah,
He's with the short temper.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I've heard
that's
enough
awesome.
From the clown.
Yeah.
And the pencil trick was his.
Yeah.
Good memory, Josh.
It just happened right now as you were talking about video game credits and stuff. So thank you.
Lloyd Kaufman was told that when filming this, that the main Japanese actors, I'm going to say these terribly, and I apologize to any Japanese listeners we may have, Rikaya Yasoka and Mayako Katsuragi spoke English. However, upon his shooting scenes, he was surprised to learn that Yasoka and Katsuragi's English was not good enough. So during post-production, Lloyd hired his wife, Patricia, who also appears in the film as the blind mother, and at the time was the New York City Film Commissioner, to redub Katsuragi's voice. And co-creator-producer Michael Hertz redubbed Yasoka's voice.
So his wife did the love interest?
Did
the little-
Masami. What is it? Not Masami. It's similar to Masami. No, it is Masami. I got it right.
Remember characters' names. It doesn't matter what language.
Yes, his Japanese girl sidekick.
Okay. Well, his
And
yeah.
and
Come on.
his Japanese girlfriend.
Well,
Just not cover for the
come on.
dude.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay,
His
yeah.
girlfriend's not listening.
Yeah.
It's his
Some
Japanese
unagi.
girlfriend. They like fell in love.
and the other one,
It's weird.
Yasuoka, was Big Mac Bunko.
Okay. Big Mac.
Big Mac Bunko.
Basically, the two Japanese characters who
Say anything.
say anything in English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only one.
The script becomes need to know.
Yeah, no. It
Real
really
quick.
does. Well, and I found it interesting. So I kept trying to I kept turning the subtitles on just to see.
Yeah.
But no, there were no subtitles. This was
Yeah.
just large portions of it in Japanese.
Right. Somebody has to translate it for there to be subtitles.
Right.
Nobody did.
I'm really curious what was going on with the Japanese reporter who was eating the bowl of whatever that food was. Like, what was he talking? What was that conversation?
He popped up several times.
He did, yes.
Over and over again, and he was
the cause of Big Mac's eventual demise.
yes, he was. I got his name somewhere. It'll probably pop up later when we see him.
The guy who's in the recording booth, the radio guy.
Oh, was that the same guy that was the reporter on the street?
Yes.
That was the same one.
And he's in the recording booth, the NPR looking.
He screams at the beginning when he first sees Toxic Avenger, but then he seems to not notice Melvin
After.
in all these other situations.
Right.
But he's seen in 5 or 6 different scenes.
He was
Good
one of the
for
best
you,
parts
Al.
of this
He
movie.
was
I just wanna
great.
say, I did not see him as a different person.
There were a
Says
lot-
a lot about me, I guess.
There were a lot more boobs in this movie than I was expecting.
Yeah.
There was a lot. Well, I mean, maybe I should have expected them, but there were a lot of boobs.
Yeah.
There was
Mostly in Japan.
So the announcer was Sutamu Sekine, and the same year, 1989, he was also in Eric the Viking. That was one other notable credit.
Interesting.
Yeah. He was funny. He had good presence and everything.
I liked those scenes almost because of the lack of translation.
No, it made it
yeah.
charming.
Yeah.
This movie was so charming.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff.
All
with
the
that,
Japan stuff worked. Yeah.
it was great.
They
They're expressive.
They said so much without us understanding what they're saying. They're
Right.
just with their acting.
Yeah.
Well, and the creators of Kabuki would,
Well, and it's great.
you would
Yeah.
expect that from them.
Yeah, it was,
Like I love that they went to Japan. They shot. They used Japanese actors. They weren't condescending. They just let them act and do their thing.
Yeah, a celebration of Japanese culture.
Yeah.
Like he's having hijinks, but he's also like eating the cuisine.
It became.
so I don't know if that was in Harajuku where they were at the bands, but that was really interesting too. Where,
Oh, that band was
there,
great.
There was
Right.
there were some really punk rock moments in this
Yeah,
movie. Where I was
for
just
sure.
like, oh, Japan
No,
in
it-
the 80s.
Right.
It was
Holy
a big
crap,
celebration.
We're in Tokyo. This
Yeah.
is so punk. This is so
so
cool.
punk. Yeah.
But let's get back to Tromaville.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
We
yeah.
will get to Japan.
We'll get there.
We will. We will. So yeah, a 4-hour cut of this movie was produced, edited into part 2 and 3. It has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think maybe is undeserved.
I think so. How much is the first one?
The first one, let me look that up.
I'm sure fanboys love it.
I don't disagree with a 0.
0?
But at the, I mean, if we're talking about like rating a movie for being like, this, we're talking about this in the climate of like Scorsese and who was the other guy, Coppola, who were like, oh, well, I have opinions on Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Thinking of this, comparing this to any movie that's made today and ranking it on a 0 to 100, I feel bad giving this a 6.
Well,
You know,
I mean, it's Rotten Tomato. I don't know.
yeah, Rotten Tomatoes is like a culmination
Fuck
of,
are they
of,
anyway?
of
The original
They're
one
just a
has
bunch of
70.
nerds, right? Nerds
the original one
deciding
says a
what's nerdy
70%.
enough.
70%.
Wow.
What does?
interesting.
The first one is
Has
70. 70.
Right.
Wow.
See, that just smacks of fanboy bullshit.
I mean,
It's edgy.
I enjoyed this movie.
So
more
it's
than the
edgy,
other
so
movie,
it's more of a
definitely,
film.
I definitely enjoyed this one more
Anything
than the first one.
trying to be charming cannot be a film.
did Siskel or Ebert
Nora Ephron has some words.
Yeah.
have any
Fucking
comments
nerds,
on this piece of entertainment?
Siskel and Ebert did not review this movie.
Figures.
I don't blame 'em.
Elitist,
Yeah.
No, this movie is terrible.
No, I mean,
It's
no,
probably shit like this that killed Gene Siskel.
yeah, no, I mean, it's okay. So, no, is it
He just
is it
he took
is
everything,
it good
so.
as a movie? No, it's not. But
Yeah, there are a lot of films that if somebody had asked us before they ever started production, it's like it's out there now.
Yeah.
We watched it.
we did, and I
So-
enjoyed. I had
liked
an
it.
enjoyable time watching this movie.
Yeah, the first reel is hilarious. That the meeting of the villains.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. All that said,
0%. All right.
yeah.
All right. Sure. Nothing.
Yeah.
But they hated Supergirl enough to give it 11%. That's you know what I mean? Like instead of just ignoring it with a 0 like
But
this.
Supergirl had Peter O'Toole.
I think Supergirl deserved a lot more than 11. That's what I don't understand.
Well, okay. Hey, it has a
nerdy barometer.
It has a 33% audience rating.
Okay,
So
see?
33%
go.
of the audience enjoyed it.
There you go.
I still give it maybe a 6.
So who?
Or
what is Rotten
Or
Tomatoes?
all of the
Or
audience
0.
enjoyed it 33% of the time.
Rotten Tomatoes takes all of the
It's an aggregate, right, of critics?
yeah, it's an aggregate. It takes
Okay,
all the
that's
critics.
my understanding. Okay.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought of a cabal just right now because you're like audience likes it, but those 4 dudes.
A bunch of nerds.
So there's
definitely
there's
that.
the critic score and there's the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes,
All right.
and
All right,
they're not the same.
I liked this movie.
So okay, are we ready to talk about this movie?
Have we not been?
Here we, you're ready to get into it. Here we go. This is the Toxic Avenger Part 2. We open with narration by Melvin Junko, formerly Ferd. He ex-
You skipped over the amazing theme song.
Oh yeah, yeah, yes, yeah. True.
the
most succinct theme song.
Told you
ever.
everything you needed to know.
Everything,
It was like
even how he felt.
right. It was like it was like the Gilligan's Island theme song.
Right.
Exactly. All the exposition.
Are you queuing it up, or I was prepared to sing a small portion of it?
Let him sing it.
Oh, let him
I'll,
sing
here.
it.
I don't know why I said let him.
Go ahead, sing it, Al.
Make him sing it.
Yeah, make him. That's better than let him.
We have a killer on the loose,
Ah, shit.
hunting innocent fae folk.
Oh shit!
All right.
Wow.
Let's just review whatever that was.
I didn't know there was going to be an ad.
Just the line. He's a hideously deformed monster hero, superhuman size and strength. And then that was
No, I was
going.
just getting into it. My head just started like, oh.
there was a something with his mop. He just won't stop. That was in there. There was
Yeah, does he mention
awesome
dancing in
80s
the
scream? Not in the.
Yeah, there's.
But it turns out that line, hideously deformed monster hero of superhuman size and strength, would pop up several times
Yes,
in the dialogue.
That's a tough lyric.
it is. To work that in. So we've got this lyric. We want you to work it into your song.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we start with the theme song.
Then Melvin's narration.
And then,
there's an awful lot of that.
There's a lot of narration by Melvin, yes. He explains that he's been transformed into the superhero known as the Toxic Avenger. He has made Tromaville a safe place again. However, with no more evil to destroy, Melvin has suffered depression until his blind girlfriend Claire, formerly Sarah, got him a job at the Tromaville Center for the Blind.
Where she lives, right?
Yes, I think so.
No, she lives with him.
Oh, right.
Oh,
in
she
his
just-
garden
Their
apartment.
garden apartment.
She just works there.
Speaking of the line I just sung in Melvin's monologue,
Yes.
he describes himself as the first hideously deformed monster hero of superhuman size and strength to come from New Jersey.
From New Jersey.
So
Specifically.
Yeah. So he's not the first hideously deformed monster hero of superhuman size and strength.
No.
He's just the first one from New Jersey.
Yeah, there was that guy from North Carolina.
Yes. Well, I mean, there was Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
There's-
They make orange juice in Tromaville.
Yes,
I had no idea.
Now.
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they made it seem like finally it's back and legit running.
Right?
So it had been disgustingly running
Yeah,
before.
the orange juice economy had been
Right.
seriously affected by crime.
Well, because we all know that a lot of citrus grows
In New
naturally in
Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah, it's the Garden
it's the
State,
Garden State, man.
Tattooing was also one of their major industries.
right?
As well as films. They show a lot of film.
Yeah, Troma. And dancing in the street, they mentioned twice
Yes.
Yes.
They're really into that.
because that's an indication that things are going well.
Oh yeah,
And,
people
you
were
know,
dancing with the police.
Yeah,
Yeah, the police were pretty nice.
yeah, dancing.
The lunch bell at the Tromaville Center for the Blind rings, and
Yeah, it's like they're not deaf. That was just so loud, like an air alarm, like an air raid siren.
Like,
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
God.
And they all. And okay, so she's blind, right? But she's also in the middle of an earthquake all the time.
right,
yeah.
constantly.
She's got the
flailing
shakes
about.
of some sort.
Yeah.
She is very uneasy on her stiletto heels.
The announcer calls them to lunch. He says, "Attention, all blind people! Lunch is now being served inside.
So if you can see even a little, nope.
All blind people
Well,
go inside."
and you don't see the Toxic Avenger at any point.
We hear
For a while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you just
no.
hear him talking
Yeah.
through the window.
Yeah, it's
And
a
I
bit.
have to, when he introduces Claire in his narration, he says she's blind, but she's still an intellectual.
right?
Yeah.
Because normally blind people can't think.
Blind and smart? I don't think so.
Exactly.
So at this community center,
Blind
there's a blind mother and her blind baby.
Yeah,
Who the blind baby is also wearing sunglasses.
I loved that.
It's so they don't freak out the normies.
Yeah, exactly. They stuck that baby in a tree.
Yes, that was a real baby in a real tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not cool.
I'm just glad in general. But it's like Al had said in a previous podcast about the woman and the baby carriage, like the most inept extras in any movie.
Oh, God,
scenario.
yeah.
And of course, this one turned out to be blind.
So Melvin explains that he works for the center as the concierge and athletic director,
Yes.
organizing croquet games,
Okay.
planning rooftop nature walks.
Yeah.
And there's a guy walking around on the roof.
There's a
And
fucking blind guy on the roof.
Yeah, a few of them.
Well, no, it's okay. Brian, he's not really blind. I think he's an actor.
I doubt it.
I think they just
I didn't see one of
Might
those.
actually be blind.
They didn't know any other way. These people can't really act.
The lunch bell rings. All the residents enter the building when a mysterious limo pulls up. Inside the limo are the chairman of Apocalypse Incorporated and his number one, Malfair.
Is that her name?
Malfair, yes.
Yeah.
Does the limo driver have a name? The earring, egg eating dude?
Probably. I didn't look at the credits. I don't remember hearing it.
Gotcha.
I think he amongst several others were just listed as Apocalypse Incorporated executive.
Right. But yeah, they roll up all arcane style.
Exactly. A member?
Nobody sees them. Well, it is
They are blind.
there were so many insulting things. I just, hopefully no blind people saw this movie.
God damn it, Josh.
Holy shit, man.
A member of the Apocalypse team disguised as a PUS delivery man delivers a bomb into the center. It explodes and Claire escapes in time upon learning of the bomb, but everyone else is killed.
He didn't deliver a bomb into the center. He hands it to Claire and she stumbles
She
her
takes
way
it in.
into the place
It's ticking.
and then somehow magically stumbles her way out of the place.
So what happens? He starts to walk away, and there's the one blind woman in the wheelchair whose wheelchair got stuck on the croquet mallet. So
She grabs his leg.
grabs him, and pleads for help, and is I guess so obnoxious that he has to punch her. And then he walks over to the white picket fence and pulls out an AK-47
Yeah.
from behind the fence,
Right.
and just blows her away.
Oh, yeah.
That's
what
right.
Then Claire heard this commotion and came out to see if she was all right.
It was an intricate tapestry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that saved her life.
It's the beginning of Joseph Campbell's hero.
Hero's journey.
The hero's
Right.
journey. You know?
So when the delivery man and an Apocalypse construction worker arrive to begin their takeover, the Toxic Avenger emerges from the rubble and kills the duo. This leads to an all-out assault by various members of Apocalypse Inc., with the chairman and Malfair watching.
And that's always funny, the clown car type thing.
Yeah.
Where you
So
open
many
the
people
door
got
and
out of
so
that
many
car.
people. And just such a swath of different kinds of people.
So many.
Like,
Did you guys notice in the second wave of thugs getting out of the car? Okay, one of the last guys was this buff Jersey looking guy wearing Indian wrestling,
Yeah,
Native American
yes,
wrestling
the
garb.
big Italian Native
With, like,
American
paint
guy.
on his face. He's the guy who gets his ears ripped off.
And he had the red feather.
The one with
Yes.
the feather, yeah.
So about 5-7 seconds before he gets out of the car, you can see the top of the red feather
On the other
on
side.
the other side of the car going in.
Get in.
That's great.
Nice.
Oh, he is a really, really over-the-top racist stereotype. It is
Yeah, he is. Oh, it was bad.
But that's always fun. There's a great one in Pee-wee's.
Over the top racist stereotype.
No. Seeing the other side of the... I was thinking
with
of
the
Pee-wee's Big
chain-
Adventure when
the
he's pulling the
chain.
chain out of the thing, and you just see it coming up from the bottom.
Yeah,
I didn't
no.
even hear the race. What did you guys say?
It was a really over the top racist caricature. You say, well, that's
there
always
was
fun.
a Klansman in there. That's
true. There
I
was
think it's
totally
safe to
a
say there were some, But right after the Klansman, or a robot, like he had like a shiny silver face under the hood. But then right after him was a black dwarf. So that limo was pretty chill. Yeah, like there was a lot of like
pretty freaky orgy.
I'd
in that
like to
limo.
buy
Right?
the world.
Yeah, so
a
Apocalypse
Coke.
Inc. is pretty accepting of all races and creeds.
Yeah,
it
they
seems.
have racists in it, but
Pretty-
those racists are pretty hip.
Pretty integrated.
Yeah,
Wow.
Toxie
they know it takes all kinds.
easily defeats the group of thugs, either killing them or, in the case of one, making him run away.
Okay, so the music was. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a cell phone ringer version of it, though.
Well, yeah, they had to use a
it
public domain version.
It sounded like
Exactly.
somebody hit like the demo button on a keyboard.
Right.
Oh, go-
But they do
totally.
the choreographed dancing, the chorus
Yeah.
line.
the rock, the
Rocket,
Rockettes.
yeah.
The music from start to finish was almost precisely 8 minutes.
Wow.
It was a long sequence.
Yeah.
It really was.
There was the guy in the derby. He was wearing the derby hat, and I thought Toxie was pounding him into the ground, but it turns out he was pounding him into his hat.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked like the nuclear man, Superman on the moon kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Like, yeah.
It did, but then
Oh,
at the
right,
end,
yeah.
Instead, he was a Goomba.
yeah,
He got Goomba'd.
in the end, it just had his feet under the hat, and he kind of scampered away.
That's awesome.
Lots of campy, cool stuff in this scene. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Michael Jai White was in this scene. He was holding his own, and he was looking good.
He wasn't
But-
the nunchuck guy, right? That was a different guy.
No, he did have the nunchucks.
Okay, that was him. Yeah.
he did have the nunchucks, and he's holding his own. But then his watch beeps,
Yeah.
and he looks at it and he says, "Lucky for you, it's time for my piano lesson." And he like taunts him in several different ways, and then runs off. Great.
No, and I'm sorry, last one. What about that dog boy?
Oh my God. Yeah. What's
Yeah, wow.
Island of
Dog.
Dr. Moreau.
Dog face.
They spent
Yeah.
money on that.
I know, but it gave him
Yeah.
little attention.
It was
Yeah.
weird, just like a background. Like
Yeah.
it was like some Star Wars kind of depth. Like
Yeah.
we got real
We
weird
also
shit.
have this.
I feel like they just told
Apocalypse.
everybody, pick out your own costume, make it at home, and come to set.
Yes.
We had the
That guy just has a dog face in his house.
Yeah.
That's just his thing.
It was like it was the village people. It was the
He's like, I did-
East Village people. It was
I
the
do this every
medieval
month.
village people.
the medieval village people. Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
the Native American Jersey wrestler got his ears ripped off,
Yep.
and we had a new transvestite thug.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like
Who
what,
got
the
a lot of-
third one that we've
Oh,
had.
And then there's the Japanese one later on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, and there was
Really
the
into-
businessman leather daddy duo. They both had guns on either side of them, but
Yeah.
they
Oh,
were
yeah, they-
obviously a duo.
They did another shot where two guys try and shoot Melvin, and he jumps up and they shoot each other,
That's right.
and he lands on the roof and he does the moonwalk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the two dancing headless guys.
Oh yeah, two dancing headless
yes.
guys.
Holy
Well,
crap,
and there was
so
the
much in
the
this
breakdancing guy, and I was like, "Ooh, wow, that's cool." And then they switched to the like, boom, boom,
The
boom,
hillbilly.
boom, 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 boom. Yeah. So it was, yeah, like the, yeah,
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the whole sequence was a lot of fun.
It really was.
The midget wrestler got turned into a basketball.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That was terrifying when they showed the basketball.
with like the terrifying sounds and stuff.
And the reactions of the main villains the whole time.
oh yeah, yeah.
Watching
Malfair, and, like,
from the freaking the
They
limo.
knew enough to bring 40 people, but they're shocked
Yeah,
by everything Toxie does.
like, I can't believe that didn't work. We're out of goons.
We knew we needed a lot of goons.
Let's go get more goons.
So yeah, back in New York, Apocalypse Inc. holds a meeting.
I love this scene.
The chairman is uninterested in his Tony's evil plans. So what
He's
we're
got a real Lucifer vibe to him.
God,
Like
yeah.
not just the evil CEO, but he just seemed
well, okay.
devilish.
I mean, that dude with his like early '90s looking goatee, he looked like he had a real porn star vibe to him. Right?
Well, yeah, I think there were some dabblers in the cast.
So anyone
surprised me. That's
anyone
funny.
make note of some of their plans?
Well, they talked a lot about how much money certain branches,
Different
of,
divisions.
Yeah,
are doing.
different divisions were making.
Yeah,
but one guy sold radioactive grenades to all the third world countries.
Yeah, I loved that.
All of them. Got all.
Every
all of
single
them.
all
one.
the third
Yeah,
world countries.
but we don't have jets. Well, where do they show up?
The one guy, they were talking their North Sea thing.
Love Canal and
Yeah, I didn't write down that one. There was a
Love
North
Canal's
a North Sea project. They were dumping 75 tons of radioactive isotopes per day in the Atlantic.
he was so excited about the
Yeah, he
Atlantic.
was so
Well, and he was
stoked about that.
shouting in the guy who was dressed up as a racist caricature who got his
Right.
ears ripped
Who-
off.
Now-
Yep.
He was shouting in his ears because he's like, what?
Is
The whole
that
time.
is that the heavyset African American guy?
Yes.
Yeah, the big guy that you texted us. The
Oh,
picture.
yeah.
He was
Dude,
great.
that
he was
dude.
That guy
acting.
stole that giant ensemble
Yeah.
villain scene.
Yeah,
He
he
took
did.
pauses. He turned to like the other actor.
No,
He's like,
to emphasize.
it's like they
his
gave me
point.
one line, and that shit's evil as fuck.
tore
We
it
are
up.
dumping radioactive material in the Atlantic Ocean every single day.
Yeah,
by the ton.
I can't tell if he's upset or happy.
That dude, he was like, "This is my moment to shine."
He's like, this is evil. I'm going to act that evilly. Yeah, it was great.
Cigar Face is back.
Did you see him?
Yeah.
Okay, I wrote that down. I thought it was just me.
Chewing on a cigar,
Chewing
too.
on a cigar, and he's actually credited as Cigar Face.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
He says they're pumping massive doses of radiation high in the sky, and he laughs maniacally. This is so good. So good.
Yeah, he's got to be a friend to somebody. I don't know. He's a weird.
Oh, he's
weird
got to be friends
actor.
of them. Yeah, for sure.
And then there's the limo driver with all those eggs. He methodical. First of all, those big white fingernails he has, not just a coat nail, but all of them.
Yeah.
And he's peeling it so methodically, like a villain would.
Yeah.
Carefully taking it. He rolled
With
it on the table.
white fingernails, it's
Right.
such a weird looking.
But then as soon as it's peeled, he just
shoving him in his
slams
face
eggs,
like
just-
a competition
Right.
eater. He's
Very
just like,
few got in his mouth.
Yeah. Oh,
I was
gross.
like, wow, he was more careful.
Yeah, eat
about
some Cookie
peeling it.
Monster style.
Yeah,
Save some deviled eggs for the guests. These aren't
evil.
for you. Jeez.
He's doing a hard boiled egg
yeah,
cleanse.
he's like me every Christmas.
Ron Fazio is there again. He doesn't have the stripes on his face. I guess that was his war paint.
Yeah. He
But
was
he's
cut by Wolverine.
It's okay. He states that by 1990 we'll have decimated the entire ozone layer from North America.
Yes.
Nice.
Is that good or what?
Yeah. And then domes.
And then Jones, yeah, the guy that was spitting, he said was talking about their patented impunity domes.
Impunity.
The president's in one of those, right?
That all the towns will be forced to buy because
Right.
of all the pollution that they're creating.
So
Always convoluted plans. Always
the chairman is uninterested in these plans. He only cares
bullshit.
about getting rid of Toxie. Malfair hatches a plan to lure him out of Tromaville and to Japan to destroy the Tromatron particles in his body that give him his powers.
Okay, I'm sorry. Do you mean metachlorines?
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm so glad that somebody else thought the same thing.
It's hard to not think that
So-
George Lucas ripped the fucking Toxic Avenger
Clearly,
off.
right.
he was clearly inspired
Yeah.
by the Toxic Avenger.
It's
Obviously.
like the explanation is right there.
Exactly
it's
the
exactly
same.
the same. I sense things.
yeah,
I am
sense evil,
compelled to
and I'm
do.
compelled to destroy it.
It's
My
the
power
fucking
comes
force.
from these tiny little particles in my body.
And now Al with Traumaton facts.
Boom.
Oh, wait, sorry, you don't have.
Traumaton facts.
Back in 1945. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
When the world was new.
I was going to mention the most amazing fourth wall break ever, where
yes.
Malfair is explaining.
Yes.
She says his real name is Melvin Junko. If you recall, in Reel 2 of the first movie, as a result of a harmless prank,
That's right.
Right. She had to double down on that. Like,
yeah,
everyone else overreacted.
Melvin fell into a barrel of toxic
Yeah,
waste.
so they invented meta.
Transformed into a hideously deformed creature of superhuman size and strength.
Again.
Right. So
Yeah.
everybody's back. Yeah.
The
her
real-
whole thing was great.
the real
and she
two
obviously
comment-
was into Claire. She talked
Yeah.
about her luscious
Yeah.
melon breasts.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a weird,
Her
like,
melon heavy
They're
breasts.
Melon
no,
heavy.
she was really into Claire.
Yeah.
Well, and then at the end, they brings the breasts up again when they're attacking her.
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah. Wow. Claire. And what was that chick's name again?
Malfair.
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 Spelled
my grandmother's name.
Malfaire.
Ooh, if I ever have a
Malfair.
daughter, I'm going to name her not Malfair.
Not Malfair.
Malfair.
Unless I hate her.
Back in Tromaville, Toxie is still feeling useless despite church and dancing. Even his mother can't make him feel better.
I know the church. So Claire had on a yarmulke and she was playing an accordion.
In church.
Which those two things fit. Yeah, but in church.
There's a cute domestic gag back at the garden apartment. She makes him.
Oh,
his-
yeah.
Do we have to
I
call
love
it
how you
that?
keep calling it the garden.
He calls it that. In the, yeah.
Just because he's delusional doesn't mean we have to accept his delusion.
Oh, I thought.
Their house is
This
a
is the
trash dump.
Joker.
All right, they're trash dump.
She's cooking in lingerie, but she's made his favorite.
She does everything in lingerie.
Yeah, well, she can't see.
She's made his favorite chicken a la Clorox,
Yep.
and Melvin immediately grabs some Drano and starts throwing it on there. And she says, "Melvin, must you always smother all my cooking in Drano before you even taste it?"
And he snaps at her.
Yeah.
His one and only. God damn it. I don't know what
There's a scene of him taking a dump.
really long one.
It's like
It went on.
it's like glowing and clattering.
Yeah.
Like the whole bathroom has like this weird,
Exploding.
like radioactive glow to it.
Yeah, it seemed like something was going to happen. But
Yeah.
No, that was just a normal time for him.
yeah, he was fine.
What about his toilet? Can he just use a regular toilet? I mean, I'm looking way too deep into this, but
It has to be a lead toilet.
yeah, I was gonna say he's kind of like.
You're thinking more about it than the filmmakers did, for sure. Hey everyone, Thoreau from Harmless Phosphorescence here with a message for you. Yes, you listening to me talk. Did you know that the Harmless Entertainment Network has a Patreon? That's right, you can join in and get extra fun like a Star Wars Harmless Phosphorescence miniseries, a patron-only Q&A roundtable episode. We have great bonus episodes of audio dramas like Attention Hellmart Shoppers in 1994. But not only that, if we reach our next patron goal, we'll do a monthly bonus Harmless Phosphorescence about a patron-chosen non-superhero movie. Plus, there are great new shows on the way, and if you're a patron, you'll get to hear them first. Head over to patreon.com/harmless entertainment today, and for the price of a cup of coffee, you too can join our super awesome superhero club. Now, back to the show. Melvin's psychiatrist, an Apocalypse agent, convinces him to go to Japan to find his father, which she tells him will help him work through his issues.
Just before that, he also mentioned that he's still depressed, and he tried to check himself into the Betty Ford Clinic, but they said he didn't have enough toxic substances in his body to qualify for admittance.
Yes.
And he's just shooting tears.
That was hilarious.
It's like a squirting gun out of his eyeball.
Shooting horizontally out of his face.
Yeah,
They're
there
not
was
supposed to get water in
there
my
was
eye.
some weird like getting help stigma in this movie.
Yeah.
About like he's like, I'm going to go get therapy 8 times a week instead of my usual 7.
It's like,
were they
whoa.
Were they
like,
pro
okay, that's
psychotherapy
fine.
or
Yeah,
anti?
like
Well,
it
I think
seemed like
pro.
it was. Well, it seemed like it was kind of leaning anti in its own weird way. I don't know. Just like
Well, when she goes nuts.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Turns
her
out to be
being her
evil.
being a member of the secret cabal,
Right.
and, like,
Yeah.
and kind of like pointing at the styles of therapy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, this new Gestalt.
yeah, the Gestalt thing versus her being
of doing it with your.
She's normally like a Kantian style. Blah blah.
She said
blah.
Freudian. He said
yeah.
Freudian. She's usually a Freudian, but now she wants to have sex with me.
Yeah.
You should look up Freudian.
Yeah. Like,
Right.
yeah, it was interesting. I don't know anything about psychotherapy necessarily, but it just seemed like they were kind of pointing and laughing at it, which is it's the 80s. Nobody's
Yeah,
gonna go,
that was a big
It's a
thing,
great idea. Go
especially
get
in,
it.
in New York
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
culture. Yeah.
Psychiatry really was a thing in the 80s.
I mean, well,
Woody Allen said.
to the
So,
psychiatry thing, L. Ron Hubbard, who does not like psychiatry.
No.
I forgot to mention this as we were walking through to
the dump.
the dump. Not a fucking garden apartment, Toxic Avenger.
That's what he said. Yeah, he steps on Dianetics.
He steps on a copy of Dianetics,
Yeah.
man.
They're taking
it
a
was
hardline stand.
very brief.
Yeah.
Much briefer than the Nixon foreign policy or the Reagan foreign policy
Right.
that we see him step on. But yeah, it was just interesting to see Dianetics there. I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, it was.
Oh.
It
'Cause
was at that
huge.
point, but it was very much jokey. Like
Yeah.
like it came up in late night monologues and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it was written by L. Ron Hubbard.
Well, that's before
Right.
they started
Yes.
getting the shit suit out of them for doing that. It
Right.
was-
Yeah.
it was-
Yeah. Miscavige made it. Okay. Let's
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
Anyways,
They'll find us.
see us on our other podcast.
Yeah, they're
about,
totally legitimate
Scientology.
now.
for sure.
Oh, they're a reformed church. Anyways,
At a picnic, Claire tells Toxie to go find his father and that she loves him. She gives him a special goodbye that night.
We also find out at the picnic that ducks enjoy standing perfectly still like Buckingham guards and standing vigil over picnics.
Duck facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Everybody knows
They
that.
love
Yeah.
that.
They do.
It's like the duck was, I guess maybe he was waiting for a handout or something.
Yeah, he was
Some
really
of
into
the
it.
decon rat poison
So I'm
treats he was
curious.
eating.
I'm curious to see if there's not some sort of duck thing in every movie, because there's been a duck in, or the word duck has been mentioned in every movie so far.
we're gonna take this duck thing out a whole new door, you guys.
Yeah, we are. We are.
We're doing things.
Bringing it back.
Harmless Phosphorescence.
I love
Should
that
we
line.
change the name? Should it be
Harmless
Duck Fluorescence?
No,
No.
We should just rename
we're
it all
going mad
Duck
with
Facts.
power.
So the next day, Toxie windsurfs to Japan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
But
the
you know what?
fastest way he knows how to get there. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
You can't let him on a plane.
I was wondering if I totally was
he
wondering
can't
if that's
fly
where that was going to go.
coach. They can't put him in the
Yeah.
baggage handling thing. He's going to put a hole in the plane and take the whole thing down.
If you've been on a plane anytime in the last few years, everyone looks like Toxie.
That's true. That's true. I bet you he takes his fucking shoes off on the plane
flip flops.
too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, being in an airport is like being in a Walmart where everything costs more.
Yeah, and you might die. I guess that's like
It's
a
like
regular
being in
one.
a Walmart.
Yeah.
So he's
He windsurfs there, which that was funny.
Yeah, that was a great gag.
And they didn't have to spend any time. Just-
Gorgeous shot too.
that shot. He was in the Hudson River with,
Actually
with the,
windsurfing.
The
He
twin,
didn't say I'm going to windsurf there.
No.
They showed him windsurfing.
right,
Right.
with
Like,
the
in the
twin
Hudson.
towers behind him.
Yeah. It was.
But then it was like that, Indiana Jones thing with the map. Like he's
Yeah,
just there.
exactly.
We don't need to.
Yeah.
That's right. No, which it worked.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely! I
It was
love when movies
adorable.
do that.
And you know why it worked? Because
we're not idiots.
and then he was just actually in Japan.
Right.
They
Yeah.
went to Japan and shot this.
Yeah, it
which
wasn't
is
another part of New Jersey.
crazy.
But he said he forgot his passport, so he had to enter Tokyo Godzilla style.
That's
Yep.
right.
That is an option when you're flying in.
Would you like to enter Godzilla style?
Why? Yes,
That's also an option with
That will
my
cost-
wife.
Oh my god.
Godzilla style.
Where she just runs away screaming.
Yeah,
As I jump on the bed, roaring.
yeah. Does she dress up like Mothra?
He sees a model of the Eiffel Tower. There.
No. Is it a model of the Eiffel Tower? Just
Well, it's not the real Eiffel Tower.
Thank you. I thought it was just a tower.
I thought it was just an orange tower.
Yeah.
It had the shape of the Eiffel Tower, but he questions whether he's in Paris or Tokyo. Was I supposed to take a left at the Panama Canal?
Yeah.
Or a right?
There's so many Bugs Bunny references in these movies.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah. So he sets off to search for his father, armed with a napkin with an address written in Japanese on it. Along the way, he starts scaring everyone he comes across.
Except when he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Howard the Duck.
yeah, people are freaked
Some
out
people-
except when they're not.
Yeah. But something I was curious about so they didn't translate the Japanese into English, so we don't know what they're saying. But I wonder, is it even entertaining in Japanese? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what the Japanese characters are saying? I wonder.
Yeah,
I
I'm
just
really
wonder.
curious. If any of our listeners speak Japanese, let us know. Is this movie good in Japanese?
Well, is that actual dialogue?
Yeah.
Are they jokes, or is it just because they're very expressive? We know what's happening, but I just wonder if it means anything to anyone.
or if they're just saying things to each other like, I'm supposed to say words here. So am I. Let's gesture.
Right, because I'm sure there were many times, since nobody spoke English, I'm sure there were many times Kaufman was like, we're not even going to mic this. There's not going to be booms. We're going to add all that in.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Everyone jump around and act like you're talking.
Yeah. So while on his quest, he runs.
Why would you mic everyone?
Yeah, why would
if you didn't know what the fuck they were
No.
saying?
But some of the Japanese actors were clearly speaking in the scene, so they were clearly mic'd. Some of them.
Yeah.
Right, that's
Right.
why I'm curious. Is it funny? Is it funny
Yeah.
to you?
Yeah. So while on his quest, he runs into a girl at a food stand who is at first shocked, but then smiles at him as Toxie tries the Japanese snack taiyaki, a local gang. Sorry, Al just gestured like, yeah, it was taiyaki, a local gang.
It's good taiyaki.
Begin-
Which is a very popular Japanese snack in the shape of a fish.
Yeah, it's like an empanada, right? That's what it kind of looked like.
It's like probably fish, I imagine, wrapped up in like a doughy bread.
Yeah, it looked. Well, they showed you it was a little like cube, so yeah, it was probably a fish meal.
Or sweets or ice cream or whatever.
Maybe it's sweet. I don't know.
Yeah. The cake.
I bet it's
It
savory.
looked savory.
Yeah. But those cool cast iron fish molds
Yes.
that he then uses.
Yes. So, yes. A local gang begins to assault Masami, which is the girl's name, causing Toxie's traumatons to go berserk.
Yeah, they're off the charts.
Yes. He goes after the gang and uses the taiyaki fish shaper to meld one thug's nose into the shape of a fish. He goes after another of the group and follows him into a public bathhouse where he uses his hot breath power.
He'll find a health spa. Melvin will find a health spa to put his mop in. A hot tub.
To make the water hot for the gang leader while putting in vegetables and noodles.
Yeah, he makes like an udon.
Shabu shabu.
Shabu shabu.
He announces over the thing, which is a Japanese Japanese hot pot.
Okay,
recipe.
that's what he's like heavy on the veggies.
Finally, he goes after the female member of the trio and follows her inside a local radio station where he ties her up and turns her into a human transmitter.
Yeah.
Which the announcer is there.
Yeah, the same
interviewing somebody, and that somebody sees this happening and runs away. He keeps talking into the mic and tries to shush Melvin and the commotion. He tries to shush the commotion. And then his microphone stops working as the human transmitter is completed. So he goes over and starts talking into her mouth where the microphone is. And he's like, oh yeah, this works. This is great.
I love all
the
of the
sounds
Japan
of the scene were so gross.
Oh my God,
and the nudity was off-putting.
Yeah, there was so much nudity.
There
in
was
the
a lot of
bathhouse scene.
nudity.
So
Just right here.
So I don't want to linger too long on the nudity thing, but the nudity thing to me was funny because all of the people that were in the bathhouse were cowering in frame.
Yeah.
Yes. So I have a feeling that they were like, you need to be naked in this movie. Like a lot. Like you need to stand in the frame and be naked in this movie.
Yeah.
Which is just an interesting choice. Like it's not like they were like, we need naked people and they're gonna scatter. They're like, no. You're gonna like awkwardly cower like 10 feet behind.
Well, no, it seems to me they were like, well, we're taking the violence down from the first one, but we're really upping the nudity.
Yeah.
But it was only this little, it was her on the bridge when she's accosted by that gang, and then the bathhouse.
Well, and then the girl later that causes the sushi guy to there was that. She was nude for a long time.
Yeah. She was running around naked for a very long time.
Yeah.
Which was a funny gag, I will say. But yeah, totally fetishizing like Japanese women at the same time as like having a ton of nudity.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's okay. So speaking of the Japanese women, Masami, she was adorable. Like as an actress, like she was so expressive, and I know it wasn't her real voice we were hearing.
Oh God, and the voice.
No, that was Mrs. Kaufman.
That was exactly
Mrs. Kaufman doing like a Charlie Chan.
Yeah, who knows? But she was the New York Film Commissioner.
Like Newt Gunray.
That's wild. That means like Tribeca
voice.
Yeah.
But all of her like physical acting was really fun.
Yeah, she did a lot with her eyes. Just like a lot of like
all the Japanese actors.
Oh yeah.
I love when he talks about her underworld contacts, and it's another group of kids, which is a Toxie mainstay. It's great. There's going to be a shot with a bunch of kids.
Yeah, she was great. But yeah, the voice, man, was just so bad the whole time.
Yeah. The voice was terrible. So thanking him for saving her, Masami befriends Melvin and offers to help him find his father. They have a series of encounters with various Japanese people, and eventually Masami dresses Melvin up like a typical Japanese businessman so he can blend in.
This weird wig.
He mentions that they also have dancing in the streets. In Japan.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and this is where it basically for a few minutes is just like a travel video from Japan.
Or Lost in New York or just a wide-eyed kid.
They show that to the government so they can get their tax credit or whatever.
Oh yeah, exactly. The pro tourism.
Oh
board.
yeah, totally.
Just so we all remember, Dancing in the Street, the duet by David Bowie and Mick Jagger, was released in 1985 and charted #1 in the UK and #7 in the US. Originally written by Marvin Gaye, William Mickey Stevenson, and Ivy Jo Hunter, recorded by Martha and the Vandellas in 1964.
Yep.
And
Marvin Gaye wrote Dancing in the Street?
And that is a gay fact. Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye.
I love Marvin
It's also
Gaye.
kind
That's crazy. He wrote so many songs.
David Bowie and Mick Jagger.
Yeah, well, okay. I guess
it's kind of double-sided there.
So,
fact.
But I mean that. Well, I mean, yeah.
Can we do Marvin Gaye facts? I mean,
we can.
Anything's
Sure.
better than this movie.
Go for it.
So,
in Japan.
You know the Fingertips tune that Stevie Wonder's "Everybody Say Yeah."
Yeah,
the live
fingertips.
recording that like is always around. Marvin Gaye's playing drums on that.
What?
He was a touring drummer from like Motown artist for a little while.
Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
He
But
was
yeah.
on the ground floor at
Yeah.
Motown,
Yeah.
but so was Stevie Wonder.
I mean, he married Berry Gordy's daughter.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then divorced her and wrote an album about it.
Yeah, everybody was a fan except his.
See us on
Dad,
our other podcast about Marvin Gaye.
Oh, aye. All right. So meanwhile, Apocalypse Inc. Takes full advantage and begins a hostile takeover of Tromaville. They demolish the place for the blind.
Yeah,
They stop producing oranges. The chairman.
They turn it into the Agent Orange processing plant, where before it was the Juicy Orange processing plant.
and in the beginning of the movie, the yokels in front of the grain silo dancing and having a good time. Then we see them again, and they're just having a bummer of it.
All right. It's not fun.
Dancing by the grain silo has lost all of its charm.
Did we mention that the town was renamed Apocalypseville?
Oh yeah,
yes,
that's right.
Yes, renamed Apocalypseville. Then the chairman gives a big speech. They condemn the park, which causes a couple protesters to be run down on their horse-drawn carriage while making out.
Yeah.
You're so horny for the environment.
Right.
It was really weird.
That was
They had a horse and a
because they're environmentally friendly.
Because they were some Sierra Club sissies.
They were
in Congress.
granola.
that was weird.
That was the whole.
So the horse and buggy are run over by the truck, and the chairman comments that it could have been more violent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't violent enough for him. Back in Tokyo, Masami and Melvin go looking for his dad in a fish market, and Masami tells Melvin,
I'm sorry.
"Yep,
The homeless people in the park.
yeah, oh yes,
They ask the chairman. They say, "Can't you please lend us a buck?" Chairman says, "Neither a borrower nor a lender be. Shakespeare." And the lady says, "Fuck you, David Mamet."
Yes. Those are great.
And just so we know, David Mamet, playwright, he wrote Glengarry Glen Ross
He fucking A did.
in 1984, Speed the Plow, 1988, and one of his first plays was in 1972, The Duck Variations.
The duck variation. That's fantastic because I'll see your duck variations. And in the fish market, they were showing lots of different kinds of crustaceans, shellfish, and fish.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, one of the guys had a large shellfish that he was cutting up, and it's known as a gooey duck. Duck facts. It's a mussel, yeah.
Back in Tokyo, Masami and Melvin go looking for his dad in a fish market. And Masami tells Melvin his dad is known as Big Mac. They're directed to a bridge where they finally find Big Mac, a Japanese man in a suit. Melvin is elated and runs towards his father, embracing him until his traumatons go berserk again. Masami sees a shipment of fish dropped on the floor and discovers cocaine in the fish.
Masami
Yeah, the
took
cocaine in the fish.
Masami
That's a
runs
gooey
over
duck.
there. Masami runs over there and she takes 11 tastes of coke
Yeah.
before she figures out that it's cocaine.
Yeah.
Oh, she
That would be the kind of detective I was too. I know. I love that in movies when they taste it.
Being a tour guide is hard work. Okay, she just wanted to get her beak wet. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm not condoning
beak
drug
wet.
use, but
Well, after the first couple times, she was start like, ooh, but she kept tasting it, not.
yeah,
But then she sounds the alarm that they are smuggling cocaine in the fish.
Yes.
Yep.
Big Mac kicks her and walks away.
he straight up kicks her.
He just
Straight
kicks
up
her.
kicks her. Yeah.
Yeah, Melvin and Masami follow slowly. So he Melvin confronts Big Mac at a temple where it's revealed that Big Mac,
The Fisherman's Shrine.
yes, the Fisherman's Shrine,
Oh, yeah.
is
That's cool.
an Apocalypse Inc. leader who delves in drug dealing and the white slave trade.
The white slave
Which
trade.
really,
Slave
the
trade.
white slave trade.
Yeah, they mentioned that in the first one, too.
Yeah, it's all about the white slave trade.
Was the 80s,
Wait. And the that was the woman in the laundromat was
Yeah.
the one who was involved in the white slave trade.
That's right.
The small woman who got
pressed.
washed and pressed.
and was told no tiki no washi.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she was the one that was
she was
the head of the
involved
white slave trade.
The
Right.
white slave. Oh God, I forgot.
Yeah.
About that.
It's all connected, man.
She's going to
Wow,
be the Joker.
they're building a whole
it turns
trauma
out.
verse.
Right.
I hate these movies.
Then
No, you don't.
then Mac
You say you do.
reveals to Melvin a bottle of anti-traumatons, the one weakness that can kill Melvin. He sets a gang of henchmen on Melvin and leaves.
Well,
Go ahead.
just sort of like Arcane. Like they took a few trials. There were some mutants made before
Yeah.
they got to the actual Traumaton.
Yeah, we'll meet that guy later.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were there.
But Melvin says even worse. He smokes cheap, smelly cigars.
Yeah, even worse.
Even worse than the white slave
Dude
trade.
eats rat poison.
Mac punches Masami in trying to punch Melvin. Melvin ducks, and she's standing behind him.
Yeah.
So he's upset about that. But then the thugs are left behind to have some fun. And Melvin says, "All right, guys, bonsai."
And then
He shouts bonsai, and some guy runs up with a bonsai tree.
Yeah.
And gives it to him. And
that's the kind of stuff that makes me wonder: is it amusing in Japanese?
Well, yeah, no, but then he uses the bonsai tree in his
a fight,
fight.
yeah.
naturally.
So Melvin goes through a series of battles against the Yakuza enforcers, a sickle chain wielding female member, Kabuki warriors. Using the environment and various seafood to his advantage, Melvin is able to defeat the entire gang.
he uses fish nunchucks at one point. They're those guys in the weird bodysuits and the tiger diapers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were supposed to be Oni demons. Just from the credits, there were two guys that were twin Oni demons.
Oh, wow.
Super hot.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot to mention the chubby punk rocker guy that he puts in the soup in the health spa.
Yeah.
With the septum piercing and the
Oh,
cow
yeah,
vest.
yeah,
and
right.
I don't know. Really interesting character.
There's-
dresses
There's some interesting Japanese subcultures.
being,
Yeah.
We have the Japanese transvestite goon.
Okay.
Yeah, who's being uncomfortably sexual towards him.
Yeah. But also acting a lot like a small child.
Well, yeah, a very lolly,
Which,
like
should-
Japanese
should-
lolly
in the
kind of
category
like
of
gross
uncomfortable
thing.
Little girl
Yeah,
transvestite.
I'd say that fits in the gross column.
Then some Kabuki guys come
And
and
says Kabuki
and he
Man.
says, "Oh no, it's Kabuki Man."
Yeah.
And I looked up Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD.
Yeah.
And
A trauma series.
it a series?
Yeah, they made more than one.
Oh, okay, a series of movies.
Yeah. Oh, not a television series.
We're not
Sorry.
doing those, right?
No, no,
God.
no, those
But-
never made it to theaters.
But it did.
It did?
Yeah.
Really?
Sergeant Kabuki Man. It's about an NYPD cop
shit.
superhero.
possessed by the spirit of a great Kabuki master. He must use his special superpowers to outsmart and outfight the bad guys.
Oh,
So we've got superpowers.
Al, you're rocking my world.
the Howard
You're that
caveat.
kid who's like, I brought my homework.
He fights crime.
kid.
And while it was originally
What are
released
you
in
doing to us?
Reminds the teacher of the test we didn't take.
there was a
Wait.
there was a limited U.S. release in January 1991.
I'll
well,
get back to everybody about that one.
We'll see.
God damn it, Al!
What's
You and your research skills.
But so this precedes the series, though, right? I wonder if that's what gave Kaufman the idea,
Yeah.
like his own idea.
Potentially, yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like Kabuki Man. Remember I said that?
All right, so
All right. So back to the movie.
Melvin finally catches up. Well, okay, the last of which, yeah.
Melvin, he's using his environment. He makes a sword out of swordfish, and he uses starfish as throwing stars. Yep. And then he finds a hedge trimmer fish.
Yes, he does.
yeah,
The,
that's yeah.
fish that just had the giant hedge trimmer for a nose.
Are those real? They've been in many cartoons. I only know them from cartoons.
The news guy's doing the food interview, and then we have the lady goon with the kusarigama, that is the chain sickle.
Yes.
Masami, she decides to help out. She grabs a hammerhead shark.
That's right.
And after Melvin slices off the lady goon's clothes, so she's completely naked.
Right.
Maybe she had shoes on still, but Masami conks her on the head with the hammerhead shark, and she stumbles off naked into the news guy's arms.
Yes, and remains in his arms for a while.
What a scoop.
So, okay, Melvin catches up with his dad, who pits him against a fish head monster, who he turns into a plate of sushi.
Sashimi, anyone?
Such a celebration of the culture.
It really is.
All of it.
Then he readies himself to fight his father, who turns himself into a sumo wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he goes to, almost like a Jedi. He goes to be nursed and...
Oh, yeah. Okay, wait. Yeah, we'll get to that in just a sec. So they battle. They're pretty evenly matched when Big Mac pulls out the bottle of anti-traumatons to use on Melvin. However, Melvin is able to kick the bottle out of his father's hand, and he pushes him into a fish butcher who, excited by the naked Yakuza lady that wandered into the area with the reporter, is distracted enough that he chops Melvin's dad into pieces.
And he finally realizes what he's done. Mm-hmm. And then it shows Big Mac's head in a display case.
Yes. So he put the head in there afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, he probably did good work. I'm sure he was proud.
Yes. Well, yes, there was a lot. That scene made me wince. That was a little rough. The
weird.
chopping the guy up.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
That was the closest we got to the first movie.
Oh, don't forget where you come from.
Right. So the bottle of anti-traumatons breaks and Melvin begins to weaken. However, Masami leads Melvin away before he's destroyed. She takes him to a sumo gym where he's healed and begins training in the art of sumo before saying goodbye to Masami to head back to Tromaville.
Well, they nurse him back to health and,
Yeah.
the war. Well, Batman. Okay. Yeah. In Dark Knight Rises, that same kind of shit happened to him,
Yeah, exactly.
This
This is exactly like The Dark Knight Rises.
You want to fucking talk about it? Because we can. Because we can.
No, I mean, it kind of is.
Yes.
It's the same story.
A lot of we're finding that a lot of these
Joseph
tropes
Campbell, man.
Are the same stories. Yeah.
Hero with a thousand faces.
It's all just about the dressing you put on it.
Yes.
Sometimes you got to
So
wear a
I'm
big
so glad we're
foam
invested.
mask.
Sometimes it's made by
gonna be a
Troma,
little-
sometimes it's made by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So they perform a sumo ritual, and Melvin, he learns the wisdom of patience and tolerance,
Yeah.
and he's told to make the first move. And they give him a sumo mawashi, the belt
The belt.
Yes.
Yeah.
they wear.
So meanwhile,
And he gets his windsurfer back.
yes. Yes.
Every time a bell rings,
In Tromaville,
he gets his windsurfing board back.
Apocalypse Inc. continues its reign of terror, branding, beating, and killing the citizens of Tromaville in the name of big business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're putting colored brands on. They're branding them, but it's colored afterwards.
Yeah.
They're still going to need people to run the town.
Sizzling paint.
Yes, I guess.
Sizzling paint. Hypercolor, if you will.
Upon his return to Tromaville, Melvin finds Malfair and the bad girls,
Malfair.
including his former psychiatrist, assaulting Claire.
The look
When
so disgusting.
when they come in,
This movie's so
I just said Malfair.
It's
You looked up
crazy.
from your phone and gave me the dirtiest look. Like I called you Malfair.
fact. I watched this movie twice. Every time.
No, I know.
I got to this
I
point.
know you were
was-
commiserating,
was
but it
just
looked like God damn.
What is this movie?
No,
Why is Malfair? I'm on board with everything, but that just doesn't make any
Malfair
sense.
is such a made up name.
Yeah, that is
God.
like
Oh.
George Lucas style.
no, she's well, yes, she's a very made up character.
It's just so bad.
It's
He
just-
gets on,
yeah, it's
and
just left field
And
Malfair.
the villain who was sitting in the limo is beating up his girlfriend.
Malfair.
Malfair
Sounds like
And her
an
name
evil
is
wizard's
Malfair.
name. It sounds like
Malfair.
yeah.
No,
it turns Smurfs into gold.
So when the bad girls show up at their house,
The name is the Bad Girl.
Bad girls.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
She was
They
practicing
ran
her,
out of a writing budget.
Right, exactly. Malfair.
But they shot 2 movies worth of this at the same time.
she was practicing her accordion, and then she realizes she needs to take care of the laundry. And when they walk in behind her, she's smelling her own underwear.
I didn't notice that.
Just a trauma thing.
You are not alone.
And they sneak up behind her, and she realizes that somebody's there, but she thinks it's Melvin. She doesn't realize that there are 6 or 7 people in the room, and just calls out, "Melvin, is that you?" over and over again. They spin her around in the chair, and I think she might have gotten a little bit raped with a whip handle.
They bend her over and like
There's a noise.
there's something that looks like sexual assault.
There's
Yeah,
a sound effect. Looks like
A little bit.
a little bit of raped, says Al.
Holy shit. I totally missed this. I watched this movie
I
twice.
just want to brand him with the. I
A little
stopped
bit of
myself.
Hannibal on my side, a little bit of raped with.
Holy shit. I missed this. I watched this movie
Yeah.
twice.
I feel like I
checked
didn't
out.
really-
He got
It's-
home.
it's quick.
and,
Yeah.
Yeah, the end
Holy
is a little
shit.
sketchy for me. I just was happy.
So-
I had a good time in Japan, and then I soon as
Yeah, we were
jet
back in
lag.
Jersey, and I'm just like,
Exactly.
my feet are sore. I
know.
got my socks on. I'm
Mel.
I need a rest.
Well,
it's like Die Hard all of a
We'll
sudden.
get to it in a minute, but the whole
wow.
chase sequence.
Jesus Christ.
So Melvin shows up to save the day. Fighting commences, and Claire actually steps up, and she grabs Malfair and picks her up over her head and spins her around wrestling style, and then tosses her on the bed, and in her cutesy voice climbs on the bed, and she says, "I'm gonna break you in half like a fucking wishbone."
Yeah, man.
It's like badass.
Yeah.
No, Claire gets the upper hand of Malfair. Yeah.
Tell you what, I don't need to be able to see.
Then Melvin and Claire embrace.
And she kicks Malfair in the lady nards.
Yeah, and Malfair walks out holding her crotch. We're talking in a high voice.
Yep.
Yeah, it was great.
She
She
fell
got
on
kicked
a
in the
bike.
lady nards.
In the lady nards. With Melvin back, the people of Tromaville are safe again. That is until the chairman hires the Dark Rider.
No, he doesn't hire him. He summons
He summons,
the Dark Rider.
which
That
is
sounds more
just a
appropriate.
dude in a motorcycle helmet.
Oh, the Dark Rider. I see him every day.
No, he was summoned. I think he's an evil spirit.
It's
not just a dude.
I thought the chairman had this Lucifer
No, he
kind of
just like,
vibe.
no,
you know,
he
like-
summoned him because he lives in his basement.
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
like-
Summoned.
A motor-
It's like, Dark
I've
Rider,
summoned
come.
Kevin.
That
I have
tracks.
people I need you to battle.
He's a motorcycle rider with nitroglycerin strapped to his back.
300 pounds of nitroglycerin.
Sweet
The-
Jesus.
Apparently.
Yes,
That's
Yeah.
volatile.
that's a lot. The plan
heavy.
Just rocking around.
driving crazily through the streets of
From what I've been
Tromaville.
told
Yeah.
by
He's ordered to crash into
scientists
City
in
Hall.
Smallville.
Yeah, the plan is for the Dark Rider to run into City Hall on a suicide mission.
Yep.
I assume a suicide mission. You don't-
Kamikaze. Yeah, that's true.
He could
He'll
be a
jump off
demon.
at the end.
Well, no, it's on his back.
I know. That's what I mean. Yeah. He jumps off at the last minute. Just blows up the front.
So Melvin is worried naturally about his mother and Claire's safety. But he says, worst of all, if Tromaville was destroyed, there would never be a Toxic Avenger Part III.
Exactly. He's
Yeah.
breaking the fourth wall again.
Fucking meta. Yeah.
Melvin hijacks a taxi with a bickering elderly couple celebrating their anniversary, and after a series of turns and misses, ends up crashing the taxi, forcing everyone to get out after an explosion. Then Melvin,
Which they all survived.
they all survive with just the cartoon black face,
Yeah, the
like the
smash.
explosion face.
Yeah.
Just before the car exploded, the Dark Rider jumped over the car that they ran into, and he shouts, "Wee!"
Well, yeah. And then Melvin convinces the taxi driver that the top getting chopped off is good because now he has a convertible.
Right.
Yeah.
And he buys it. The driver buys
Yeah,
it.
it's
He's
like,
like, all
yeah,
right,
all right.
now I can see the dancing
it's
in
a
the
custom
street.
job too.
Yeah.
Then Melvin hijacks a hovercraft and drives it after the Dark Rider.
So late 80s.
So
Yeah.
perfect.
Hovercrafts. It was like the height of
Hovercraft.
what if? What if we
The-
could do this?
The elderly couple, they've been turned on by all the violence.
Oh yeah,
And the danger.
And
They start making out.
yeah. They decide to go to the
some
French
hot-
They
restaurant.
decide to go to the French restaurant instead of the Chinese one.
That's what they call it, the French restaurant.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Melvin drives it after the Dark Rider, finally forcing him to bust into a home, causing the Dark Rider's demise.
It was like a garage sale.
Yeah, some people probably died in that, right?
Yeah. So if he had 300 pounds of nitroglycerin on his back, if crashing into City Hall was going to destroy Tromaville, wouldn't it have the same effect crashing into a random home?
Well, you'd think. So Al,
That's why it has a 0%.
Yes, you have found finally the flaw in this movie.
Dun, dun, dun.
The one.
I know.
Once again, safe from the hands of Apocalypse Inc., the people of Tromaville celebrate at the church. A man arrives and is revealed.
I love this girl. She's still dancing in the streets. She's still dancing. She was in the first scene dancing with the cop, and she's still there.
Oh, right,
They're
yeah.
dancing. And there are times when she's talking to the guy, but she's also in another scene another shot that they're looking at. So she's got a twin or something there.
So a man arrives and is revealed to be Melvin's real father. Melvin learns that the Yakuza leader he defeated in Japan was Big Mac Bunko. Melvin's dad is glad to be reunited with both Melvin and his mom, and is happy that Bunko, who had used identity theft against him, is no more.
He's ruined my rating with Visa and MasterCard.
Meanwhile, the
This
chairman
movie was so ahead.
and Malfair attempt to hitch a ride back to New York. Melvin now feels complete, knowing he's always needed in Tromaville. We're told it's not the end,
No, it's not.
but that is the end.
Yeah, that's the end. But not the end.
If only it were the end.
Yes. No, there's a third one, which we will watch in 2 weeks,
And a fourth one, right?
which we'll watch a little later on. That was made in 2000, so we got a little ways.
Wow.
And possibly what, Al?
Oh, yeah. those
Sergeant
fucking
Kabuki Man.
Kabuki Man. We'll look into that.
Yeah.
I'm not excited by this discovery.
I'm not married to it.
We'll see if there's some way to get past that. Anyways, so that's it. That is the
We'll see
Toxic
if there's
Avenger
any way to get past. You're looking for loopholes in your own.
in my own podcast.
Yeah, we'll go back to the contract and we'll see what's written in there.
See if,
Did you sell your soul to the devil for this throw?
Yeah, no shit. I had no idea.
How are we on time? I've got some funny credits.
give us a
Okay.
couple
I
minutes.
was
We got a
gonna
couple
say,
minutes
do-
here. Go for it.
Digital growl effects. David Ouimet, grunt expert. Jack G. Sweeney
Grunt
Jr.
expert.
I noticed. I'm sorry to interrupt. I noticed a lot of people just had toxic in front of their
Toxic
credit.
accountant, toxic bookkeeper.
Telephone operator, Buzzy Signal was one.
Oh, nice,
funny.
nice. I
Nice,
didn't see
Buzzy.
that one. Fish trainer, Susan L. Kaufman. White House correspondent, Charles D. Kaufman.
Ooh,
Tromaville historian,
wait, Charlie Kaufman.
Ruth L. Kaufman.
Wow.
Probably Lloyd's kids or family members. I don't know. Just getting like random credits.
Well, Charlie Kaufman's a great screenwriter.
Yeah.
No relation.
Right. So not a fun one, but the taxi driver was Felix Cortez, and he will be doing stunts for Daredevil and Punisher on Netflix, on the Netflix series.
Ah, nice.
So some of these are setups. Best Boy, Greg Krasinski. Best Lay, Selma Feltathai.
A Selma Feltathai.
Third Grip, Joseph Foley. Golf,
funny, Foley.
Golf Grip, Keep Thumbs Locked.
Which is good advice.
Yeah.
Yes.
These are great.
Key Grip, John Kelly. Key Gripe, the food stinks. Key grope, John's left buttock.
Oh, John's left button. Hey.
Yeah, we look good
All
in
right,
jeans.
good for you.
And most improved camper, Richard Lewin.
All right.
The sushi chef was ginger and mustard. Which was pretty fun.
This shit got a 0%.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't even his real
I'm gonna write my congressman.
He should have done his
My
genealogy
galactic
research
senator.
before he went to Japan.
I feel bad that I didn't do a proper body count for this movie.
Oh yeah,
But there were countless innocent blind people that died right at the beginning.
A
so
bunch,
that
yeah.
just
threw off the whole
curve. Yeah.
I mean, you could have counted them as they walked in. There was a line of them as they walked in.
But who knows who was
They were
inside
easy
to
to
begin
see.
with.
That's true. That's very true.
So, guys, we have to rate this thing.
Okay.
All right.
So,
2%.
are we? We're.
Let's start from the top. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, where are
so
we? I don't
This
even
isn't
know.
Toxie 4, Citizen
Toxie. Yeah.
What's our least favorite movie? What's at the bottom?
Toxic
I don't-
Avenger, right?
No. Superman 4, A Quest for
wow.
Peace.
Yeah, because we found more things in Toxie we could enjoy, which
Then
is terrible.
Superman 4 was a bad movie. Just
God, it was
tremendously terrible.
It was insulting.
It was not enjoyable.
I don't remember watching
It was like
any
you
of
got
it. I
punished for
blocked it out
caring
of my
about
memory.
Superman.
forgot it existed.
Nope.
So hey, have you been a fan of Superman? Well, fuck you.
This was funnier than Superman 4.
Way funnier.
Yeah.
And it understood it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Superman we have at the bottom, and then Toxic Avenger 1. Is this
It's better than the first one, I think.
I think this is better than the first
I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so after Toxic Avenger,
I wouldn't mind another person walking into the room while I was watching this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas before,
Whereas before, you
Terrified.
had to turn down the volume so your neighbor wouldn't hear it?
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well,
Maybe
maybe
he had
if you
just moved in like a weekend.
maybe if you
before.
had put some pants on, you would have minded, Josh.
Well, that's
Yeah. I wasn't in
sorry, I'm
shock the entire time
Yeah.
watching this movie.
yeah. So it was better than
I may have been desensitized by the first Toxic Avenger and Superman 4 also, but
So then next after Toxic Avenger, we have Howard the Duck. Is this better or worse than Howard the Duck?
I would say no. There's no good music in this necessarily. It's
Yeah,
not
I would
like-
say
Howard was a better made film, I think.
yes, yeah.
And okay, all right. So I think we came to that pretty fast. We'll put it in between Howard the Duck and Toxic Avenger 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Officially typing the words.
We have a really big made out of marble board in the room here that we chisel
It's
out
gorgeous.
a new name. Yeah, and we just like slide them around in order.
So there it is at number 13 out of
13, is that how many movies? This is the 13th
it's
movie?
number 13 out of 15. We've watched 15 movies.
All right.
Wow.
And there it goes. Toxic Avenger Part 2. Next week, we are going to be watching 1989's The Punisher.
With Dolph Lundgren.
With Dolph Lundgren. Yes.
I will break you. I love it.
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren as The Punisher next week.
Such a strange movie.
You know he has like a PhD, right? He's like super brilliant, I guess. Yeah.
In punching hard
Yeah, I'll,
doors.
Kicking ass.
I'll look
PhD.
into it. But yeah, Dolph Lundgren's supposed to be surprisingly brilliant.
I had no idea.
But they couldn't even use the Punisher logo. They couldn't even give fans that much.
No.
It's a fucking shirt.
He's Dolph Lundgren. He's clearly not like a dark-haired dude from New York.
Who went to Vietnam for America and came back.
Right. Yeah, he should have just been a Russian Punisher or something.
Yeah. Anyways, next week, The Punisher. This has been Throw Smiley quoting David Mamet.
I'm Josh Cece, and I'm heavy on the veggies.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I've got a piano lesson I've got to get to.
When the bad guys come to your town, call me, Alaric Weber.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye. Harmless Phosphorescence was brought to you by executive producer Atticus Burkett, producers Michael Beckwith, Jojo Birchtree, Hedda Paulson, Kirsten Reed and Alyssa Dent, and Katie and Finn Thorpe. Make sure to rate and review us on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Harmless Phosphorescence is a part of the Harmless Entertainment Network. Become a patron at patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. Thank you for listening.